the real center of our webinar is this equation, just not a linear left to right equation. It's a virtuous cycle. And I'd like to ask Blake, do you have some comments or some things you want to add to this figure? And how do you think you describe it when people ask you that question?
Yeah, it's interesting because when we started, right, a lot of the funds, especially in the early days for what has become my lab and my team, were provided by the lab's innovation funds, right? And they're just, oh, we want you to be innovative. But being innovative is this weird nebulous thing. Everybody wants to be innovative, right? But what does it actually being innovative is never the goal, right? It is something that gets you to the goal, right? It's the thing that gets you the thing. Really what we need long-term, as we're talking about it, is capability. That's really the objective, is to have better capability and, be able to do more. Or sometimes there's also a value thing, right? Be able to do the same thing at a better value, but usually comes down to some level of capability. As you build capability, you need things also to be more usable. You can't spend all of your time training on, esoteric tools. And it also means if you want things to be able to be usable, when we're talking in the enterprise sense, you have to integrate it with other stuff. Gone are the days of where, we want one login for every application, right? We need things like single sign-on. We want our data to be portable between systems. So as we start talking about how do we integrate our business practices and our applications and our tools, we need them to be interoperable, which also accelerates innovation, because now I have access to all of the things to do my job. I can remix them and look at them in different ways and provide new functionality that works more than just one thing. And that helps innovation, and round we go.
I think about modular, that's a key word for me, is modularity. And that increases your degrees of freedom for innovation and capability.
For the software engineers out there, right? Encapsulation, when I was being trained, that was, a big part of object-oriented programming. Interfaces and encapsulation, and nowadays APIs.
Yeah. Yeah. That's Blake had a lot of good points there. I just wanted to add is, Christine, you mentioned earlier kind of interoperability to the different systems, because as far as vendor lock-in goes, the reality is customers are asking more and more for the capability to, they don't want to do a rip and replace. They want to have the ability to augment technology and add value right into their ecosystem. So I'm kind of talking from a manufacturing, but also an operational technology point of view, where similar to Blake and stuff, I had to support the back-end systems, and I had to handle the integrations and interoperability across the different enterprise systems. From a manufacturing perspective, you mentioned it earlier, there's so many different systems that AR, augmented reality, could provide a value to, and it would touch. So leveraging data through APIs, common data model and such, I think that'll be a big driver that would provide a lot of positive outcomes for folks across different industries, right? Whether, I look at this slide and I like to refer to it as the circle of life, right? Because interoperability, to me, if I look at it right there, is going to be the enabler to provide, to drive innovation, required capabilities. And then to Blake's point, usability of the technology, right? If it's easy to use, user adoption and such will be, it'll be easier to kind of melt into your ecosystem. And then of course, integration to those different systems, right? So I think this is a great slide to summarize where, because I know personally from the manufacturing perspective, there's so many different systems augmented reality could provide value to.
Exactly. Okay, so that's really good value. And we're going to come back to this. I think over the course of the next 45 minutes, we'll be returning to these ideas.